There are over 115 million Americans that have prediabetes, and 8 out of 10 don't know they're pre-diabetic. How did it come to this?
Type 2 diabetes is the one that you're referring to, Ray. The primary cause is the natural aging process. As we age, we have natural cell death that is called apoptosis. And so the cells that secrete insulin, the beta cells, are dying off. So at the age of 110, everybody's got diabetes. So the older you are, the greater your risk. But there are other factors. There's your waistline. There is your intra-abdominal or omental fat. The only way to know how much omental fat you've got is to have a CT scan or an MRI scan. There's your VO2 max. The greater your aerobic capacity, the better your insulin works. So the less it is, the less physically fit you are. Some VO2 max is trainable. A lot of it is genetic. And then there's how much we move our bodies. So the lower our level of physical fitness, the less well our insulin works. So we're a sedentary society. Our waistlines are expanding and our beta cells are dying. That is a recipe for diabetes. So what can you do about it? You can stay lean. If your parents have got a waistline and they've encouraged you to be sedentary and eat the wrong foods, we haven't talked about food yet, then your risk of diabetes is going to be much higher. There are genetic factors that are less well understood. The South Asian community, Ray, has a higher incidence of type 2 diabetes. It's not well understood. Native communities, particularly the North American natives, have a much higher incidence of type 2 diabetes. If your risk for diabetes is higher, it also means you're better at conserving energy. In a situation where calories are scarce, a person with diabetic genes is actually going to do better than a person who doesn't have diabetes genes. So it cuts both ways. In our society now, where we've got an abundance of calories and energy and we're sedentary, it's a disadvantage.
My job is to basically think of these really crazy ideas on the edge of the possible and then make them happen. And ideally maybe make them happen in like 24 hours or whatever. But part of where these crazy ideas come from is talking to people. So it's this community, it's this in real life thing. It's getting feedback from people, getting ideas, riffing, just generally trying things out. And but it seems to be during those cognitive flow states that these crazy ideas come. And I feel like somehow, these physical and these cognitive flow states are related. But when the flow state comes, I just feel like you have to ride it. And but one of the interesting things that, for me is I feel like if you can recognize flow state in these different domains, and this is maybe sports, or this is lifting, or this is music, or this is whatever, somehow you can also recognize them when you're programming or when you're doing this or that. If being in tune with the physical flow state, I just feel like there's this complementary relationship with the cognitive flow state. And I haven't thought about it enough to be able to articulate what the similarities are, but I just feel like somehow there's a virtuous feedback there, So if you go to Oxford, you have this thing called the tutor, and there's this one-on-one relationship sort of thing. And then the question is whether AI helps humans scale by being the primary point of contact, and then you sort of have a backup person to kind of come and just sort of oversee or kind of sanity check what the AI is doing. And the reason being is because it turns out that human relationships don't necessarily scale, right? So it's hard to scale this tutor relationship. It's hard to scale the trainer relationship. It's hard to scale those sort of things. So maybe AI can help with that. But just the thing that I'm trying to figure out is whether AI makes a good simulacrum or whatever you want to call it, or whether AI can imitate these people who are sort of the best at what they do in physical training or in musical training or in tutoring or all that sort of stuff. There's a certain amount of emotional intelligence and physical intelligence, and there's this sort of relationship aspect, which I feel like is maybe slightly difficult to replicate with today's models.